Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, Charles Morris, and today, in this video, obviously, I want to be discussing more on Jada Pinkett Smith, because she is literally one of the most shadiest people that I have been doing research on. Obviously, one of the very shadiest celebrities that I have heard about. And as I want to say this right now, that I mentioned toxic marriage in my last video that Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith are in. And I just want to say that the marriage that Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith are having is very, very toxic. And I think Jada Pinkett Smith has some kind of like cheating addiction and, you know, gets on Red Table Talk and admits her mistakes. Like, she's not even afraid to, go and tell the public, hey, look, listen, I'm sorry why I did this. I did this because of, so and so, and, I just want to deeply apologize to people. Well, I got something to say right there. No, when you mess up, like, very horribly, if you're doing something like, something very, very, wrong, something that you should not do, um, the best thing you could do is, see, like, a private psychologist, like your local psychologist, or go see a psychologist somewhere else and, admit your mistakes privately and, get help. Instead of just, making it open public where everybody else can hear about why you did what you did and, all of it, erupting on social media and, then it starts getting to be something everybody else can, like, get a grasp on and, start making, stinking rumors and, you know, making the whole business, or I shouldn't say business, but where Jada Pinkett Smith gets on Red Table Talk and, it's there for the public to watch, where when she's got a problem that she's having and she's open about it in the public, that's where the public is going to get a listen on Jada Pinkett Smith's mistakes that obviously should not be anybody else's business. So, like, if she has, like, some kind of way for, going and screwing around with other men and that stuff, why should that even be, like, other people's business? I mean, yeah, admit that you're making mistakes and that stuff, but why do you have to make it, like, public on, like, Red Table Talk? I mean, seriously, nobody even wants to listen to these kind of dramatic things that is going on with your life, but there is just certain times where when you make like these horrible mistakes and that stuff, you need to. What you really need to do is, just talk about this privately. Like, you know, there is something called couples counseling that you can get, and it's where when you've got like some serious problems and that stuff, then you can get like couples counseling, and you can like talk about your mistakes in private, where where your private business that you have with your partner and that stuff shouldn't be the whole stinking public's business, because your marriage is your own business. It should be nobody else's business. And Jada Pinkett Smith should, stop appearing on this red table talk and discussing her problems that she has, and it being open to the whole entire public to actually hear, so that everybody can hear about, her major mess ups and, all this stuff, like, being talked about on social media and that stuff, because it's Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith's marriage, and it should be nobody else's business. Now, there is another shady side to Jada Pinkett Smith, and pretty much Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith don't do punishment. And they give their children as much control over their own lives as they want. So, if 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 their daughter Willow Smith wants to sleep in bed with a shirtless man named Moises Arias, now, according to Nikki Swift, I've it's on the section of, questionable marriage or questionable parenting. Yeah, questionable parenting. And Jada Pinkett Smith admits on Red Table Talk that Willow Smith was Jada or Willow Smith was in bed with a shirtless then 20-year-old Moises Arias. That is what that sentence said. And I just got the thinking that, they let Willow Smith just sleep in bed with a shirtless 20-year-old actor, Moises Arias. And keep in mind, they've also been investigated by the Los Angeles family. I think about family services. I'm going to put family services on there, and I think what was going on is they were being investigated because, Well, like I mentioned, Jada Pinkett Smith is very, very shady, and Will Smith needs to get out of this toxic marriage because eventually, depending on how long they go into this open marriage, Will Smith should actually, like divorce Jada Pinkett Smith because there's going to be a bunch of shady things that Jada Pinkett Smith is going to continue to do. And the more this Jada screwing around with other people and sleeping in bed with other men and that stuff, there could be some complaints that would be filed against Jada Pinkett Smith, where some men could just go to their police and, start, complaining about Jada Pinkett Smith screwing around and messing around with them and, forcing them to do stuff that they would not be comfortable doing. I'd be surprised if there were stories that got out where they complain about Jada Pinkett Smith, um, having a big messing around party. I would not be surprised if there was a complaint against Jada Pinkett Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith would go to, jail because she just can't even, you know, live life the way she's supposed to be living it. And she's got all of this, need for just getting out there and having herself a bit of fun. And I mean fun, I mean, just going around and screwing around with whatever man you wanted and, eventually some kind of complaint would, start coming up against you. And then you have to deal with the headache of, going to court because there's this man that wants to file like a sexual assault charge against you or sexual harassment charge and that stuff. And then Jada Pinkett Smith isn't really that smart. Like I said, she's shady. So the longer that she's got this scoring around with people and that desire and, that need and that stuff, eventually Jada Pinkett Smith would actually get herself into like some legal trouble. And then, Will Smith would have to, find somebody else. Will Smith would probably even realize sooner or later that, hey, my wife, or, yeah, Jada Pinkett Smith, who Will Smith has married, he may realize that he has to, get out of there before he, goes down with Jada. What I mean by that is if both Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith go to jail together because of some, pathetic reason and that stuff, Will Smith is going to, not like it if he actually ends up having to go to jail for, with Jada Pinkett Smith. And that's where things are just gonna really end up going downhill for both of them. And what's worse is their children are gonna be like, if when daddy when Daddy Will Smith and Mama Jada Smith is in jail on that stuff, the kids are going to feel, very, very mad with the fact that both their parents are in jail, and they might end up having to, who knows, Willow Smith might have to go end up in living on the streets, who knows. Maybe the children will end up having to, be adopted as foster kids. And yeah, and they won't have real parents to, take care of them anymore. If Jada Pinkett Smith gets Will Smith into trouble by the law and that stuff, then that's where it's gonna look. That's where it's gonna be, a bad situation that the kids just wouldn't want to be in the first place. And these, I obviously want to say one last thing before I end this video, and that is, the longer that Jada Pinkett Smith goes around and making these mistakes and being open about them on Red Table Talk and that stuff, I got words to say to Jada Pinkett Smith. She needs to just shut up. And she just needs to, get a life. Because all this stuff is just getting old. This is Charles Morris. Have a good day. If you like what was said here, please comment, like, subscribe on the channel Charles Morris. And, Jada Pinkett Smith is very shady. Have a good day. I'll see you all in the next video.